Hi, everyone. I am here to go over our market insights for Northeast Florida. Every week, I will be taking a deep dive into different neighborhoods and areas within Northeast Florida. And if you've seen any of my other videos, I like to focus on monthly trends versus weekly, just because the data that we get is just a lot much larger data pool, and it's better to see monthly sometimes versus weekly, because sometimes we don't have weekly closed sales and days on market. So it's just nice to have an overall monthly. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a quick overview of Northeast Florida, and then we'll dive into Jacksonville Beach. That's the area that I'm going to be doing this week. So right now we have the median sales price in Northeast Florida is $370. Closed sales, I believe it's right over 2,200, right over 2,200 for closed sales. And again, all of Northeast Florida. Sold price per square foot. This is a nice little indicator of typically what area you are in. So the median sold price per square foot is 210. And then we have, I'll go to days on market. Days on market is a great one because it really shows you where we're at in the market. And all of Northeast Florida, we're sitting right at 34. And then lastly, percentage of list price received. So I'll dive into this and why this is so important. But the percentage of list price received is we're right at around, right under 98%. So these are just a few key points of what we should all know as real estate advisors. And as buyers and sellers, you should be educated if you don't know on what these numbers are going into any market. Okay, so all the numbers that we just went over, it's just nice to compare the two. And again, sometimes it can be extremely comparable to all of Northeast Florida. And then certain regions and areas will be vastly different. So I want to dive into that a little bit. All right, so we'll go ahead and start off with sales price. So for all of Northeast Florida, we were at $370,000. For Jacksonville Beach, we're looking at right at $684,000. And the reason why, of course, this number is so important is, if you're an out-of-state buyer and you're looking for a specific price point, if you're only in, the 400, if you only want to spend $400,000, then maybe Jacksonville Beach isn't the right area for you. And that's why I do these videos, is to really give you that information and give you the power and the knowledge of finding out what that market is. So right now, the sales price is $684. Closed sales for the Jacksonville Beach area, we're right at, I think it's in the 50s, 43. So we had 43 closed sales in Jacksonville Beach last month, okay? Before I showed you Northeast Florida, which was around 2,200. Sold price per square foot. This one's always a great one to know. So there's A1A, right, that heads all the way from, if you're looking at the beaches, A1A is Atlantic Beach all the way down to, St. Augustine. And you're going to be different price per square foot east of A1A versus west. So it's just always great to know what this number is. And right now we're looking at the median is $416 a square foot. Days on market, again, super important. A lot of people will look at this number from a seller's view and a buyer's view. Okay, so right now the median days on market is 28, and all of Northeast Florida, I think, was at 34. So it's still pretty comparable. But this is an important number because I remember a few years ago when the median days on market was 7. And then we've also had much higher days on market in different neighborhoods, over 100. So it just really depends on what area you're in. But right now, we're looking at 28 days on market for Jax Beach. Percent of list price received. I love going over this number, and I'll touch base on it pretty much every week because I believe it is so important. And right now we're at 98.5%. And the reason why this is so important is if you are a buyer and you're looking to go into a specific neighborhood or area of Jacksonville, St. Augustine, you want to make sure that you know what this number is. If the house is listed for $500,000 or $600,000, you want to know, how am I going to make this offer as strong as possible? And you need to know what the percentage of list price received in that area is. If it's 90%, then you know that you might have a good shot of, going in a little bit lower than list price. If it's at 100%, then you need to go as strong as possible. And I see a lot of times where buyers unfortunately aren't educated on these numbers, and then they go in with the low offer and then they lose, and then they're devastated because they lost their dream house. So it's just really important to know these numbers. That's on the buy side. On the seller side, of course, this is so important because it's an expectations conversation. You want to make sure that if you're listing your home for 600,000 and you're getting an offer for 550, don't jump the gun and accept it, because you know that if you have these numbers that you should get a little bit closer to that list price. And then on the other end, if you're getting an offer that's right around list price or right around 98% of list price, that's a great offer. So it's just good to know these numbers. And again, I always say that when you have the right real estate advisor on your side in your court, they should be going over all these numbers with you, even if you're not looking to buy or sell now. Just knowing these numbers and watching the market and knowing what's out there is really great. So again, I'm Carrie Hustis. This is my weekly video. We went over Jax Beach, and if you have any questions about the real estate market in Northeast Florida, please feel free to reach out, and I'll see you next week.